Aloha! Welcome to Throwback Thursday in the Bishop Museum's Library and Archives. I'm Hadley Andersen.
I am DeSoto Brown, Bishop Museum historian, and it is Throwback Thursday time, as you just heard. And we didn't do Throwback Thursday for 2 weeks. I was on vacation, and now we're back.
Yeah, so what are we going to talk about?
So let's get to it. Well, we're going to talk about bands, brass bands.
Oh, brass bands. Okay.
Brass bands. Okay, so not rock and roll bands, but bands and orchestras. And a brass band is composed of brass instruments, and there is a difference. Maybe you can point out to me.
Mm-hmm.
A band usually is not the same as an orchestra, and an orchestra, I think, has stringed instruments, and a band does not.
Nope. And it consists mostly, it can be a brass band and strictly brass, or it has woodwinds in it, which are technically the flute and the clarinet and saxophone, things like that. Where
Okay.
You're right, an orchestra has the stringed instruments.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about both of those, but they all originated in Europe, because that's where most of those brass instruments came from originally, and then they spread throughout the world, and those types of instruments are played all over the world, and they came here to the Hawaiian Islands in the 19th century. And there was something called the Royal Hawaiian Band. And the Royal Hawaiian Band is still with us today, and it is run by the municipality of the city and county of Honolulu. This photograph shows the Royal Hawaiian Band on the steps of Iolani Palace in probably the early 1900s, and the band leader is this man right here, whose name was Henry Berger. And he was from Germany, where brass bands probably originated, and he's the person who really got the Royal Hawaiian Band started during the reign of King Kalakaua. And next to him is Madame Nani Alapai, and she was the singer for the Royal Hawaiian Band. So the Royal Hawaiian Band didn't just march around and play military music, because they also played, it's very interesting how it was adapted into Hawaiian culture, and how Henry Berger and other Hawaiians wrote music specifically for the brass band, and also adapted earlier Hawaiian songs to be played by the brass band as well.
Fantastic.
So, there's the brass band again. Here's the Royal Hawaiian Band again. And they were formed in a time before there was any kind of electronic or electric entertainment. In other words, there weren't any records, there wasn't radio, there wasn't television, there was no internet. The only music you could hear was if somebody played it live. And so lots of places in Europe and the United States had a bandstand in some prominent public location. And this is the Royal Hawaiian Band on the steps of a bandstand in Honolulu, which I believe was in Queen Emma Square, which is still there. It's on Queen Emma Street. It's a small park. And so the band would play concerts in the afternoon or the evening, and people would just gather there and listen to music, because, as I said, that's the only way you could hear could hear music, as if someone was playing it live. So there were, of course, other bands. The Royal Hawaiian Band was and is the best known, but there were lots of other bands in other communities and other places in the Hawaiian Islands. And the picture I'm holding is of one of those bands. This is a band at Kalaupapa in probably about 1900 or thereabouts. Because it's at Kalaupapa, that means all of these people have leprosy, because Kalaupapa was where people with leprosy were sent, whether they wanted to be or not. They were pretty much exiled there before there was a cure for leprosy. And so you can see some of the members of the band have kind of distorted faces, because that's evidence that they have leprosy. But again, that was a source of entertainment. They had a bandstand, and the band members, people who were there could play an instrument, turned into an orchestra.
There you go.
So, now speaking of orchestras, here's a picture of an orchestra. An orchestra, as Hadley just explained, has different types of instruments. So you can see there's a bass in there, and there's also a piano. Obviously, a marching band cannot have a piano. And this is at radio station KGU in Honolulu in 1939. And you can see that the girl who is standing right here in front of the microphone says KGU on it, so that's where we know where this is. I don't know the name of the band, but I do know the name of the song that they're performing.
Wow.
How do I know that? Very good question, because there is sheet music on the piano, and you can read the title of the song, which is called Yankee in Havana. And no, I do not know what the song Yankee in Havana sounds like. I could have faked it and just said, I'm a Yankee in Havana, CC, but no, I don't know.
I thought you may have looked it up online, or maybe we had a recording of it.
No, if I don't already know it, then I'm not going to go any further. Anyway, in addition to the orchestra that you just saw at KGU, there were other orchestras around town because social dancing or ballroom dancing was very popular.
Yeah.
And so here's a photograph from about 1935 of people on the dance floor at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. And in the background, not as easy to see, is Harry Owens and his Royal Hawaiian Hotel Orchestra. Harry Owens became a very famous songwriter and band leader, and his songs, he wrote a number of songs, and he also made lots of records, which were sold nationally. So as you can see, these folks are all dressed up. It's a special occasion to go out at night, to go to a ritzy place like the Royal Hawaiian, and to dance under the stars. This was on the ocean side of the Royal Hawaiian, where there is a lawn today. If you've ever been there?
Yeah, I think I saw a really wonderful performance out there.
Okay, well this was, had you been there in 1935, you could have listened to Harry Owens and his Royal Hawaiian Hotel Orchestra and danced around.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been wonderful. Well, you just were saying to me, Hadley was just saying to me that she was a band member in high school.
I was.
What did you play?
I played the trumpet, so I was in a brass band. We didn't have a marching band.
Okay.
We didn't actually have a football team.
Right.
So we had a concert band and a jazz band and a brass choir. I was in all of them.
Okay. Well, it's remarkable how many people that when I talk to were in a band. I have absolutely no ability to play an instrument, so I kind of marvel at it. Anyway, this is a photograph of a bunch of different bands assembled at the old Honolulu Stadium, probably in 1950 or thereabouts, for the halftime show at the Aloha Bowl. And if you see in the foreground, there's a giant football there, which has written on it Aloha Bowl. And standing behind or on the giant football is the band leader. There's one leader who's leading all of these different marching bands. And of course, many high schools, many colleges, the military, etc. We still have marching bands, we still have brass bands, and people are still in school learning how to play instruments just for that reason.
Absolutely.
So,
wait, isn't there? Yeah, doesn't the Royal Hawaiian Band still play?
Absolutely, the Royal Hawaiian Band is still with us. It is the only band in the United States that started under royalty, and it's probably one of the very few that is supported by a local government. And it plays in all different types of situations. They play every Friday, I believe, at noon or lunchtime on the grounds of the Iolani Palace on the bandstand that's there. And then they are available to come to different locations and give performances. So
I think I've heard them out at Kapiolani Park.
you probably have. Yeah, they do that too. So the tradition is still with us, and it got started a long time ago, and we've still got it going today.
Support your local band.
There you go, absolutely. I wish you'd brought your trumpet, you could have played. Had you known.
Had I known, I probably would have, and it would have sounded awful. Since
Okay.
I'm very out of practice.
Oh, well, all right. We won't force you to do that. But in any case, so that's our Throwback Thursday for today.
Now, if you are looking for other things that the Bishop Museum is doing, please visit our website, www.bishopmuseum.org. We're always doing really amazing things. Like us on Facebook, Twitter. We're all over social media everywhere.
You can't escape us.
Nope. Nor would you want to.
I know, and why would anyone want to? Okay, so that's Throwback Thursday for this Thursday. We will see you again next Thursday. I'm DeSoto Brown. That's Hadley Andersen. Aloha.
Aloha.